Okay, so today we're installing these Ditec Handicap Operators. They'll be going up on that door, and they'll be going up on this door, and another door over there. So let's get started. First thing we want to do, release the cover on this Ditec model. Now that the cover has been removed, the next step is to look at where it will be mounted. In this case, it's going on brick mortar, and now the next step to do on this one, okay, will be to drill a few holes all around. I like to usually drill around 8 holes. It's recommended in the book 6, but we're going to use 8 nice tapcons, 2-inch tapcons, and stitch it all up there at the top. Now that we have all of our lines, we can start drilling. This stuff is made out of wood. Now that all of our holes are drilled, we can take this up there, and the next step will be to mark up the top there through those holes so we can start drilling with the concrete bits. Now that we got our marks, we can go ahead . Alright guys, so we got all 8 of our holes here. Now we're going to use these guys, the tapcons, big ones. So now that we have the operator on with the 8 screws, all holding it straight into the concrete, we can go ahead, grab our motor, okay, open it up. So we got our motor, instructions, screws, stickers. Let's get to the good stuff. The good stuff is this bad boy right here. Very heavy. You got your pull arm, standard, and standard roller track. And here is the operations manager, the control board. This is the last thing that I like to put on. Right now, we're going to get this guy in. Very simple, we'll just let it sit. One of the things I like to do first with these motors, release the bungees from them. Remember those 2 screws to remove the covering? You're going to be needing them. So now, let's get up there. And very simply, I don't know how the hell my phone didn't break with no case. Next step, put this motor on that housing. Step 1 finished. We're gonna grab our screws. Where's the other bad boy? There it is. And basically these guys, we're gonna feed it here just to line us up a little bit more, a little bit less. Just right. Okay, now using the number 3 Phillips, we'll give these ones a tighten, but line up our motor and make sure it doesn't fall and go anywhere. Next step will be put on the control board, and then we'll work on the arm and the pulley. Just remember, before you install the control board, all Ditec models come with the external switch for automatic, off, and hold open. This one goes on the most bottom hole right here. So we're gonna tap this guy out and feed it through and have it sit, and then the electrical, we're gonna run it through here, plug it in properly, and have it hanging. Once that's done, we will be grabbing the control board and just placing it over there, holding it with one of our tapcons. The way I like to get these guys off is by putting a screwdriver right there, giving it a whack with the hammer, and then it will spin. Now that it has begun to spin, give it a nice push, and that's it. One down, another one to go. Second hole completed. We just ran this guy through, connected it, and that's it. Ma? Dat zou het lekker is? Oké, dan niet dat sneeuw. Sneeuw mag die. Now you want to grab onto these guys, these 3 wires, okay, all at the same time. So let me show you how it's done. 2 hands, okay, I grab them all 3. So that way we don't forget their order. Now we grab the switch, put it in. Okay, and now in the same way, I like to put them in gently, just like that. And then we're gonna put the phone down, hold the button from the outside, and push against them. Alright guys, what I'm gonna do, okay, I'm gonna release this guy right here, this Tapcon, remove it, put it over here, and that will hold our board. I told you guys I would use this, I lied. I ended up using that one, my bad. Okay guys, next part, we have this guy right here. Okay, this is your power from the motor, and it gets it from the board. Now, there's 2 spots you can go, this one or this one, whether you have a left hand or a right hand. Okay, we're gonna plug it into the left hand one. Okay, now, if you start the operation of the whole assembly, okay, and all you end up hearing is a sound of like it's working, and you see the gear here not spinning, what it means is that this guy needs to be swapped over from this side to this side. The last thing we connect will be the power wires. They're not live, they shut it off for us, and these connect to here. Doesn't matter which one, they both get connected. And this guy right here, this little guy, make sure you see the orientation of it, okay, and this goes up here on the board. Sorry for the camera quality as it's decreased. Now that everything is on, so in our case, because of the concrete wall here, we are not using wires, we are using a wireless receiver and transmitter. Now, we have 2 wires going from the power, okay, to the power of the receiver, okay, and then we have on act N1 and on common, we have that controls our button, and when the door actually opens, if we were to put it on act number 2, that would mean that it would act with delay. So if you have an electric strike and you want the 1 second delay between when it goes click and when it opens the door. So in our case, we programmed these guys. So now just press that button over there and this guy opens up and works. As it turns out, that bad fall that we had with the phone earlier cracked the camera. So for the rest of the video, quality. I think in the beginning of the video, I forgot to mention how I set the height for the Ditec and the left and right. So basically you want it to always be same on both ends relative to the frame. So plus minus a quarter of an inch. If the door is smaller than the operator, make sure it's same on both sides. Same if it's big, you want it to be right in the middle, or at least if it's bigger, you want it to be about 3 inches from the frame. Now, if you did all that, the next step is to set the height. And now, the way we set the height, right, on the pull doors, so in this case, I could have gotten about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch lower, and that would have been okay. Okay, in this case, we're all the way near the maximum of height-wise, which is good anyways, because we can always lower this guy if we really need to. In this case, we won't need to, but the door will pass when it fully opens. It will pass over. That's the most important part. Now that it's all hooked up, we're gonna put it on hold open. And you see it's moving slowly, but that's probably because of the adjustments up there and the opening speed and other factors like in the settings. So that's the reason why it's starting it off slowly. But those adjustments will get done towards the end. That's what these guys are for. These guys control the latching and the back check, and at what point it's going to work. And so now we want to make sure that when it's in the hold open position, one of the magnets is riding on top of another magnet, and then it's not gonna give you these feedback loops. Do you see this feedback loop? Okay, so that means that we're on the wrong magnet here, and now it's gonna stop. Perfect. Now that's it. Now that the magnet, or this one right here, needs to move ever so slightly. So now it's right above it, and this, you see the black piece here, it's right against the stopper. So now we can take this guy, drop it down, and now that we know that this is at the full open, we can go ahead and grab our arm, right? I believe we have a new one right over here. I'm gonna grab this arm, and basically where the tip of this guy is, that means that's where the door will be based onto the wall. So roughly we want it right over here, and that will be perfect. Okay, and now for safety, we're gonna put this screw back on, just so it doesn't fall on anyone's head. All right, and now when we close it, turn off the operator, this will swing all around, and that will be its new position. Okay, it's sitting right over there. So now for the next part, we're going to grab the roller, and basically we situate it right here. Okay, so right over here is going to be perfect. We're gonna take these covers off. They'll just come off just like that. I'm gonna take this guy right over here, shove her in. Okay, now there's a little set screw. We're gonna, now that we attached the arm, we take these covers with the flat part facing out and put them on. One, put this one on. Two, test it out. Okay. Door opens good. Your back check activated. I heard it click. And that was latching. There we go. We tested it. We make sure to torque this down nice and hard. Alright guys, at this point we hooked up the receiver. Once the receiver was hooked up, we just programmed it. We clicked the little button on it. I would tell it turned green. Once it turned green, we went to our buttons, click the buttons, they communicate with each other, and we're good. The next step was to line these ones up. So we have right now the latching and the hold open set up as it should be. And we have everything else programmed. We have all the numbers programmed. You only need to change them from 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are different setting modes. And the 5 on the right side, that's the different levels for that mode. And so you always want to make sure that if you put it in programming mode to set up the different speeds and such, that you also put it back into the run mode. Otherwise, the door will not open. But as of right now, I can show you guys that it all works. Click the button, bam, move ladder, bam, door opens, bam, door stays open, holds open, and we'll return in a moment. All the way back. Latching clicked, you can hear it click on the magnet. That's it, door's closed. Now we just gotta put the cover on. Now that we're back on the ladder, put this guy on. You want it angled this way. Run it through here. Put it in here. It goes in, just like that, it gets trapped. Close it down. Make sure your screws are all lined up. And now you can put one with no problems. And now give her a tighten. Give it a tighten. And now we'll put the other two and we'll be good. Final step. We have our sticker here. We're gonna peel the top portion off. Gonna make sure it looks like it's centered and that it looks straight. We're gonna tap it just with our finger, like that. Once we think it looks straight. Let's see. Does it look straight? Pretty darn good. Okay, let's finish it up. Okay guys, we have one operator working. We got the second operator working. You can press this one. Or you can press this one. That's how we do it. All right guys, that's it. The third and final has been completed. Working absolutely beautifully. We also did that one a few days ago. We had another 3 to do. And from the outside also working absolutely beautifully, clearance and all. Alright guys, that's it for today. It's already 4 o'clock. Started early on these 3 guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time.